The Cosmic Dance, a record of spiritual dialogues, channeled by Julie Soskin. Chapter 4, Initiation. We have spoken of a wind of change, which is a movement of energy. The astral body of your Earth is moving rapidly. Dark forces in its astral body are holding on. There is, in your terms, a sharp, piercing note entering the astral body of the Earth from above. This has begun already. This piercing note is dissolving the dark forces. It is like a laser beam of light, a high-frequency note dispelling all negative forces that it comes into contact with. This is very difficult to explain, but if you can paint a mental picture of a flash of lightning, a sharp laser beam coming into and stimulating your Earth, you will have some idea of what we are saying. At present, this note is entering in at a single point, and as Earth revolves, this point moves with it. This point is located in the northern hemisphere, somewhere between the landmass you call Greenland and the island which you call Ireland. The astral body of the Earth has expanded over many eons, but now it must contract. The astral body affects the physical, and this is why your scientists have not quite mastered the laws of gravity. The missing link is the astral, which affects the physical. When your scientists realize this, their calculations, which describe the solar system, will be complete. There is work now being done to stimulate the minds of scientists on your planet, those who can accommodate this information. Light, power, and information is being channeled to those whose specific duties are to integrate science into the new age. Of course, some of this information crosses the boundaries of different disciplines, and that is quite as it should be. There will be a link between those who can read and understand this new material and those who need the scientific papers now being drawn up. This material speaks to those who understand on an intuitive level, and to those of you who have journeyed inwards and have taken initiations in the past. The astral body of your Earth is diminishing, and as a result, the negative forces around your globe are, as it were, fighting for their very existence. They are trying to establish a foothold in some countries, organizations, and individuals. Never before have the beings of light in the astral level had so much work to do. At this time, all beings of light are being called into action. In the past, some of them have dedicated themselves to channeling information to particular mediums. Some of these will have to leave the individuals with whom they are in contact with, because all beings of light on the astral level are needed now. Much work has already been completed to ensure that negative astral energy from below, from humans, will not seep back into the astral body of the Earth. Much work is being carried out to ensure the opposite does not occur, that dark forces are prevented from seeping back into the Earth. Similar gatherings of light beings have occurred in the past, but never has there been such a union of angel beings with golden radiance, protecting and dissipating, transmuting the darkness, so that your planet will transform and follow its evolutionary destiny to become a planet of light. Nothing has gone wrong. Many people have asked the question, where is God? Why have we been deserted? You have never been deserted, and now, as you spiritually come of age, you realize that your pain and your experiences have made you grow strong. You are veritable rocks of light. When we speak of influences which are coming in now, these are very different from the divine sources which some of you have always had the ability to link to. Your planet is being energized. Its frequency note is rising. Would that you could hear the harmonics of the universe and see the patterns which they create. When a planet is going through intense difficulties, it becomes discordant with the universe. And when that discordant note is heard, Help is sent. Now, this is not the case with your planet. The energy which is being sent to you now is not because you are sounding a discordant note. It is coming at the present time because the wheel has turned full cycle, and the time is now right for the point of light to enter again, as it did many thousands of years ago, when, as we said in an early session, mankind made the transition from animal to modern man. Obviously, it is impossible for us to describe in words the frequencies and notes which we are endeavoring to explain to you, for these are sounds and therefore cannot be described in words or written down. But if you mentally open the cells of your body to these frequencies, some of you will be able to hear an echo, a reflection of the sound, of the harmonic structure of the universe. In terms of your units of years and months, it is not possible to pinpoint the exact time of entry of this point of light, but I know that this light has already entered. Its presence was sensed some years ago, and it finally entered a few months ago. Gathered around this point are beings of energy that are comparable to what you describe on your planet as divas. These energies are like fire creatures, elated salamanders. They guide and protect the etheric essences of light, just as your divas concern themselves with the etheric essences of your plants, and some with that of yourselves. Even now, you do not understand there are many facets, beings, and energies which are not human, which serve their purpose in the evolutionary process of your world. Some of you can sense them, and a very few of you perceive some of them, but none of you perceive all of the energies that make up the whole. Every being, every frequency has its work to do. Because of the disturbances in energy, you will notice that machinery, particularly machinery that is connected with or powered by fire or electricity, will tend to go wrong. There will be more than just the usual occasional breakdowns. Even your motorized vehicles will be affected through their electric systems, and it would be as well for you not to possess vehicles that rely upon electrical controls. You may also notice that more than the usual amounts of fires will start. These will have many different causes, or so it will be assumed. In fact, these will be caused by the vibrational frequencies which are now coming in. You will note these over the next few months, as once again humanity as a whole dismisses these coincidences as chance occurrences. We must emphasize that it is not our intention to instill fear into you, nor that you should anticipate a fearful time to come. We are endeavoring to do the opposite. We are trying to throw light onto matters which will assist with the expansion of your minds. We only make reference to these matters because they are of interest to you. We do not intend that you should find them fearful. If the more sensitive of your animals could speak, they would tell you that something is stirring. In particular, dogs, elephants, and dolphins are amongst the most sensitive of creatures. They have always been attuned to humanity and to the frequencies of Earth as a whole. We speak now to your hearts. Be firm, dear children of light. Be as rocks. Be solid in your strength. Those of you who have yet to jump the vortex, continue to work on erasing your inner darkness, knowing that you have the strength of diamonds. And for those of you who have jumped the vortex, keep that rock-like strength within, even though this cannot be diminished. You can become irritated if you allow it. What wondrous, vibrant sounds are emanating from you as more and more of you take this step, this jump. We speak to you of angel beings of light, but the angels alone cannot force you to make this jump. But every time a soul makes this jump, they can automatically link to the angels both above and below, so that you can correspond to the unity of all, and to the note that furthers and pushes forward the evolution of mankind. Joyous times are coming. As you know, initiations have occurred before, and sometimes they occur within a group, but it is not always possible nor relevant for a whole group of people to be brought over the vortex during an initiation. However, there will be a few occasions when this kind of initiation will happen en masse, but this will only happen to specific people in specific places. Most initiations are carried out on an individual basis at this time. Perhaps, though, being awakened by another radiant soul. When you use the word initiation, this is not an accurate description, for it is not the same as initiations of the past. In bygone times, initiations were rigidly structured. This is because of the limitations of the methods available to individuals at the time, and because of the way the initiates responded. The current initiation processes are unstructured. What occurs is the same, but without the ritual. Rituals are not relevant at this time. Symbols that permeate the mind can be useful both to leaders and to pupils, but not rituals or structured formats. In one sense, these initiations will happen automatically, for you will remember what we spoke of, how initiates are attracted to light beings who can help. Never doubt that those who need a particular impetus or climatic occurrence in order to trigger their initiations will, at the appropriate time, be drawn to light individuals, and their initiations will occur. You are aware, no doubt, that there are many high priests and priestesses around today. Not all of them will have sufficient strength, and unfortunately, not all of them who have reincarnated at this time will be able to further their work, but many of them will. We give you the name of Cephas, which is not to be confused with Sirius. Cephas was an extraordinarily powerful being, a master of masters, dominating the energy at one time in your planet's history. Now Cephas's energy is with you again, not in one person, but in many. Unfortunately, some reincarnated priests and priestesses have gone beyond themselves and have been consumed with pride, thereby rendering their work useless. It is the quality of humility within powerful beings which gives them solid strength and makes them great. Many powerful beings are overly concerned with what they have to do. They believe they should be standing up on podiums, shouting their message. They should not. Trust, you beings of light. The light itself is your teacher, your magnetism, and your strength. Everything is happening in the present, and you must work with the present, with what is around you. You are where you are meant to be, and you are doing what you are supposed to do. Memories of past times are with you only because you have opened up to them. They are helpful to some extent, but they are not necessary for your work. Concentrate on today. All is one. All is one time. All is one breath. One day you will experience the loss of your body and total immersion within the oneness. Have you ever lain on the ground and looked through the leaves of a tree at the sun? Have you ever looked at the crystal reflection of the sunlight shimmering on water? The sunlight breaks up into separate points of light, and yet you know it comes from a single source. Think on that. Picture this image and you will understand. Allow it to touch your hearts. All things are important. When we speak of the little ones, this is not a derogatory statement, no more than if we refer to your children as little beings. There is always a potential for endless growth, of which both you and we are aware. You are already working with dolphins and other animal friends. They have their own sources of protection, their own beings, and their own connections with the source. You as human beings must not interfere with this, although you can communicate with them through thought and by touch. They have their own point of reference to the source, which is not the same as yours. Within their group soul, they are singing their note loudly, the note of freedom. Some creatures are also taking a leap of consciousness in order to expand and grow. This is a wondrous thing. All beings of energy and living matter are part of the whole, different notes from a single instrument. We are bringing this session to a close with one more thought. The spectrum of the universe is huge. You have your colors of the rainbow, which are connected to the light spectrum of your world, but the spectrum across all light frequencies is far beyond your imagining. It is wonderful and enormous, and yet this spectrum is still one. It is still linked to all the universe and to each and every tiny cell, even the tiniest creature. Now, because this laser beam of light is entering your globe, cells and all living forces are being stimulated. Now, dear children of light, your rainbow will have many more colors, and these will enhance the opportunity you have for leaping the vortex into light.